and welcome. This is News Now, reaching you live from IBrandTV News Studio, Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution rules out the creation of new states. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, raises alarm over indiscriminate use of performance-enhancing substances, popularly known as aphrodisiacs. OKOROCHA'S son-in-law Uche Nwosu regains freedom. Yoruba Nation arrowhead AKINTOYE unveils mobile app PAJAWIRI to track kidnappers. Glad to have you join us, and here are the stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Perpetua Fasamipita. Now the news in detail. The Senate has ruled out the creation of new states in response to calls for more state creation from some quarters. The Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution observed that apart from shrinking resources, which may render additional states unviable, the exercise may fuel national tension and further polarize the country. There are agitations across the 6 geopolitical zones that states should be increased from 36 to 56. However, the Senate Committee reasoned that the new states will create additional burden for the country. Senate President Ahmad Lawan, who spoke on the report of the Constitution Review, said the recommendations, which would be harmonized before the Constitution Amendment Bill is passed, will top the agenda of the Senate after the Christmas recess. There are over 30 items in the report of the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review, with reports that the 70-year retirement age limit for Supreme Court and Court of Appeal justices will now be extended to all judges nationwide. A group within the governing All Progressives Congress APC under the umbrella of Progressive Mandate Movement PMM has challenged May Mala BUNI-led Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, that's the CECPC, to ensure that the party's national convention does not fail to hold by 5th of February 2022. The group also demanded the immediate release of processes leading to the National Convention, adding that if nothing is done by January 5, 2022, the National Secretariat will be made ungovernable for the CECPC. In a statement released to the newsmen in Abuja and signed by its national coordinator, Abdullahi Mohammed, and the secretary, Adekunle Fijabi, the group said it will launch Operation Occupy APC Nationals for its leaders to do the right thing. The statement claimed that President Muhammadu Buhari had wanted the APC National Convention to hold in December 2021, but due to appeal by the BUNI CECPC, the presidency agreed to February 2022. The Nigerians in Diaspora Organization Europe, NIDOE Europe, Italy chapter, says about 1.5 million out of its 3 million registered members in Italy are affected by scarcity of Nigerian passports. Mr. George Omoiduho, chairman of the chapter, said this on Monday while reflecting on the activities of NIDOE in Europe and Italy. Omoiduho added that the supply of 500 booklets of passports to the Nigerian embassy in Italy was grossly inadequate to serve the number of Nigerians resident in Italy. He said that the organization was committed to growing Nigeria's economy, adding that members must try their best to return home to build Nigeria. According to him, most Nigerians in Italy have legitimate businesses and Italians have been great hosts to them. NIDOE partners with the Nigerian community, professional organizations, as well as public and private businesses in focused areas such as foreign direct investments, FDI professional networking, stakeholders advocacy, medical missions, educational support, and skill transfer to Nigeria. Few hours to the commencement of the People's Democratic Party PDP Congress in ZAMFARA State, some political thugs have attacked the venue of the exercise. The thugs invaded the venue in the early hours of Monday and destroyed the voting materials, nomination forms, 2 vehicles belonging to party members, chairs, and set canopies ablaze. The personal secretary to Deputy Governor of ZAMFARA State, Umar Aminu, said the party will not be intimidated by the incident, noting that the Congress will still go ahead as scheduled. He said the hoodlums are unknown, but assured security agencies will investigate. It is not certain which political party is responsible for the attack on the PDP facility in the northwestern state. Despite the attack, the Deputy Governor of ZAMFARA State, Barrister Mahdi Aliyu Gusau, and the caretaker chairman of the party, Ambassador Balamande, have arrived in the new venue of the Congress. The Congress has drawn 1,089 delegates and is meant to produce key PDP officials that will pilot the affairs of the party. A group of elder statesmen in ZAMFARA State have raised alarm over the alleged indiscriminate release of arrested bandits and their collaborators by the authorities in the state. They urged the law enforcement agencies to stop the act, citing it as one of the factors responsible for the escalation of the insecurity in the state. The group raised the alarm on Sunday at a meeting in Gusau, the state capital, where it recommended the revitalization of community-based associations to generate funds for the establishment of primary and secondary schools, to offer free education to orphans who lost their parents as a result of banditry, in a bid to prevent a recurrence of such incidents. A former member of the National Assembly who represented Zamfara Central constituency, Senator Seydou Dansadao, briefed journalists on behalf of the group at the end of the meeting. Senator Dansadao acknowledged that the security situation in the state has improved significantly following the shutdown of telecom services. He, however, stated that places like BENIN, Magaji, Shinkafi and Zurumi local government areas still face incessant attacks by bandits. Members of the group comprise of traditional rulers, religious leaders, senior citizens, and some political office holders who came together to discuss how to mobilize Muslims and Christians to pray for the return of peace and to support the government to succeed in the fight against banditry in the state, Zamfara. A leader of the Yoruba Nation agitation group, Professor Banji AKINTOYE, has unveiled a mobile application called PAJAWIRI, designed to track kidnappers and kidnapped victims in the southwest zone of Nigeria. The historian and leader of the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination group, Ilana Omo-Oodua, made this known at an event in Ibadan, Oyo State. According to him, the mobile app will expose criminal elements wherever they are with their victims once the victims have the application installed in their phones, either on or off. He said the security system, which can be downloaded on Play Store, also has another system called Afiniho that can be used by those without Android phones to link up with those with the full application. Speaking at the unveiling ceremony held in Ibadan, Akintoye, who joined the event virtually from the Benin Republic, said the emergence of Pajawiri is evidence that the Yoruba people are too intellectually sophisticated to be subdued. Akintoye had been seen at Yoruba Nation rallies with embattled agitator Sunday Adeyemo aka Sunday Igboho before the latter's arrest on July 19, 2021 at an airport in the neighboring Francophone West African nation. The police have released a former Imo State gubernatorial candidate, Uche Nwosu. Nwosu, a son-in-law to former Governor Richard OKOROCHA, was whisked away by the security agencies at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Iziama-Obaire, Nkwere local government area of Imo State on Sunday. The heavily armed security operatives stormed the church with high-powered security vehicles and shot sporadically into the air before arresting Nwosu. Confirming the release via a statement on Monday, the special advisor to Nwosu on media, Nwadike Chikeze, said his principal did not spend a night in custody. Quote, "Have spoken with him and he extended his greetings to all of us out there. While we await police reports on why the abduction and arrest, we call on everyone to remain calm and focused because God is in charge of the whole situation." End of quote. The earlier arrest of Nwosu created panic in the community as it was the outing service of his late mother, who was laid to rest on Wednesday, 22nd December 2021. While police authorities did not immediately confirm the incident, they released a statement later to clarify that Nwosu was arrested and not abducted as feared in some quarters. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has raised alarm over indiscriminate use of performance-enhancing substances, popularly known as aphrodisiacs, warning that consumption of such substances could lead to stroke, organ damage, or sudden death. NAFDAC's Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who raised the alarm in her Christmas and New Year goodwill message to Nigerians, decried the preponderance of performance-enhancing drugs, otherwise known as manpower, in the local parlance in the Nigerian market. Adeyeye lamented that many men have died using performance-enhancing drugs and their relatives would blame their death on some imaginary witches in the village. The NAFDAC boss also described as false the claim by the producers of the products that they have no side effects, insisting that majority of the products did not go through the approval process of the agency. She, however, warned that the agency would not relent in running after the peddlers of such dangerous drugs until they're brought to book for violating the regulations. Adeyeye added that there are manufacturing and quality guidelines and mandated regulations that control the production, importation, exportation, advertisement, and the use of such products. According to her, unbridled use of aphrodisiacs has a lot of implications in the entire body system, noting that the use of the products could potentially affect the blood pressure of the body. The Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) Semi-Area Command has received items suspected to be tramadol capsules concealed with packages of jumbo-sized adult diapers in a 40-feet container from officers of the Benin Republic. A statement by the command's public relations officer Hussein Abdullahi revealed that the items have a duty-paid value of 1 billion naira, 447,297,050 naira. Neither the owner nor any other person has come forward to continue the process of clearance procedure since the customs took delivery of the container on the 20th of December. The items discovered during 100% examination are 200 packages of adult diapers, 100 cartons of Gabadol 120 milligrams suspected to be tramadol equivalent to 360 kilograms. The diapers were smartly arranged at the front of the container while the drugs were at the back. The controller added that the command has initiated a full-scale investigation with a view to fishing out those involved in the illicit importation, while samples have been taken out and officially handed over to the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) to ascertain and confirm the drugs. The federal government has charged newly inducted medical graduates to desist from participating in incessant strikes by doctors in the country. Ngige gave the charge while speaking at the induction of 6 medical graduates of the University of Abuja into the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria (MDCN). Ngige, whose son, Dr. Andrew Ngige, is among the new inductees, urged the medical graduates to be of good behavior and uphold the highest ethical standards while carrying out their duties. He noted that the medical profession is a noble one and hence they should abstain from any conduct which is capable of bringing their esteemed profession to disrepute. Earlier, the Registrar MDCN, Dr. Tajuddin Sanusi, told the inductees that they were ethically bounded to do certain things as medical doctors, warning that anything contrary to that would attract the hammer of the council. Other dignitaries at the induction ceremony include Senator Ngige's wife and Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Evelyn Ngige, and the Dean College of Medicine, University of Abuja, Professor Felicia Anoma. Religious leaders in Ogun State have called on the federal government to rise up to the challenges of banditry, kidnapping, and other social vices bedeviling the country for peace to reign. As Christ came as a peace, Christians across the country are urged to pray for the restoration of peace and sanity in the nation. At All Souls Anglican Church, a special prayer was organized for the country.
Despite all of the challenges we face as a country, let us continue to turn to Jesus, who is the King of Peace, to restore peace and sanity to the problems ravaging us as a nation. Problems of insecurity, problems of kidnappings, problems of banditry, and all of these problems, poverty and all of that. Let us still have hope that the coming of Jesus brings joy to his people. And this joy, we must be able to open our hearts to receive this joy by sharing love amongst each other and abstaining from or staying away from everything that destroys the peace of us as a people.
Christ came as a Prince of Peace, and we must embrace the peace that Jesus has brought to the world. We must live as people of peace and allow peace to reign in this country so that we can be one, and the salvation that Jesus has brought to the world can be joy that everyone should embrace. And it's my prayer that that salvation everyone will embrace and receive for the eternal life.
The 2021 end-of-year activities of Pali Agro Group of Companies was organized in a grand style to celebrate members of staff that have distinguished themselves in their assigned duties. Agboje Korea reports that the annual event, which took place at the company's head office in Lagos State, was to celebrate hard work and professionalism.
Management and staff of Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Crest Pharmaceuticals, and IBrandTV on the Pali Agro Group of Companies took our time to relax, unwind, and interact with colleagues, guests, and family members. Though it was not A speech-making night, Chairman Paliago Group of Companies, Mr. Wampali Onyagu, elated for being able to create employment opportunities for over 600 young Nigerians who have been contributing immensely to the economy and growth of the country, says he will continue to give his best for the progress and development of the country. On her part, wife of the chairman and group managing director Paliago Group of Companies, Mrs. Anwile Onyagu, while thanking God for the feats the companies have attained in few years, encouraged members of staff to do more.
Nigeria is a very good place to do business. It's a very good place to do business. My message to Nigerians is be resilient, be focused, and be determined. My message to all my staff, those that are present and absent, they need to do more, get more committed, have the sense of belonging, sense of ownership. I don't own this company alone, we all own it together.
This year end of the year party is certainly a moment that we should all savor and enjoy. If you take a quick look around, I'm sure you will agree that Paliago Group has come a long way in the last few years.
Going down memory lane to recap on the history and achievements of the companies, Mr. Festus Uche said Paliago Productions Limited, which was established in 2009, is not only feeding Nigerians with its favorite products like banga and unripe plantain flour, but has become a household name in dry cleaning, pharmaceuticals, and television business.
Paliago Products Limited is a modern firm specialized in production of various forms of agricultural products with impeccable food standard. Our product, through unripe plantain flour, canned banga, are carefully developed to international specifications by experts, providing premium quality product at every affordable rate.
Group Managing Director Paliago Group of Companies, Mrs. Anwile Onyagu, flanked by some staff and guests, cut end of the year cake in style.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
High point of the event was the recognition of some staff for hard work and due diligence. Filled with joy for being appreciated, some members of staff thanked the chairman and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Onyagu, for giving them the opportunity to showcase their talent and creativity.
I feel honored to be part of the group. I must commend the MD and chairman of this great organization for seeing us worthy to be celebrated, for giving back to us that which he has always promised.
My words to the MD and the chairman is that I really appreciate them for all they have been doing, for giving us this opportunity to express our individual ability. And I want to say a very big thank you to them for all the things they've been doing for us. It's been an amazing year working with them. I really appreciate it.
I'm very, very happy. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the management, talking from the chairman, the MD, and the entire IBrand staff. I want to tell them a very big thank you. I really appreciate this, and I'm not taking this for granted.
Eulogizing the philanthropic nature of the chairman and wife, some guests at the event encouraged them to keep on the good work.
This is my first time of witnessing this occasion, and I must commend the MD and the chairman for this great job. He has employed a lot of people, and I wish him more success in the future.
They are very nice people. They like to give to people, and they are accommodating too. So what I'm telling them tonight is that let them continue be doing it.
Paliago has stayed steadfast up on through the 2020, even up until now. So it's a good time to celebrate staff who made it possible. It's really a good one, and we commend the management of the company.
The chairman is doing so much. It's a great businessman, and the wife, the MD, is very supportive.
I, Boji Warrior, reporting for IBrandTV News.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa, looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the up, open am, take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081-6397-4447, 080-3564-4436, 070-6663-8213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit Extract.
Christmas in Nigeria is undoubtedly a family event, a time where lots of family members come together to celebrate and have fun. Many families will throw parties that will last the whole night on Christmas Eve. Then, on Christmas morning, they all go to various worship centers, caroling all the way with so much excitement and thanksgiving in the air. Homes and streets are often decorated with shiny lights of different colors. Most homes do have a Christmas tree placed in strategic places with lots of lights and ornaments as part of the festivities. Wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from IBrandTV, where business comes first.
Christmas is here again, but it means different things to different people. For some, it means sharing gifts and spreading happiness.
Some will say Christmas is about holidays and sharing food.
For others, Christmas is about music, caroling, candlelight, and fireworks.
At IBrandTV, Christmas for us is about adding colors to your television, bringing you the brightest of holiday contents, news, and events all across the globe. From now into the new year.
This is wishing our esteemed viewers the warmest Christmas greetings from all of us at IBrandTV.
Wishing you a season that's merry and bright with light and love from IBrandTV, where business comes first. Welcome back. The Libyan Red Crescent teams have recovered the corpses of 28 migrants after a shipwreck, with three survivors found on the beaches of Al-Alous, 90 kilometers from the capital, Tripoli. The corpses of the 28 migrants washed up on the sand of the Al-Alous beach on the western coast of Libya, with the bodies in an advanced state of decomposition, suggesting the shipwreck happened several days ago. According to the International Organization for Migration, the Central Mediterranean route transiting through Libya has claimed the lives of 1,500 migrants this year, making it one of the world's deadliest migration routes. The European Union has been cooperating with the Libyan Coast Guard to cut numbers of migrants arriving on European shores. Somalia's President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed has suspended from office Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Robo following allegations of corruption and misconduct leveled against him. In a statement issued by Villa Somalia, the official residence of the president, on Sunday, December 26, Robo was accused of interfering with an investigation into a land-grabbing case. The duty and powers of the Prime Minister Mohamed H. Robo, who is being investigated over allegations of corruption and abuse of public land, remains suspended pending the outcome of the ongoing investigations. Suspension of robust powers comes after both parties engaged in a verbal war on Sunday, accusing each other of holding up the country's ongoing parliamentary elections. The election, which began on November 1, was expected to climax on December 24. However, a newly elected parliamentarian said that only 24 out of 275 lawmakers had been elected by Saturday. The president's statement added that other members of the Council of Ministers would continue their duties in accordance with the laws of the country. Libya's eastern-based parliament met on Monday to discuss what to do about a presidential election that was postponed last week, putting the fate of the interim government and the wider peace process in doubt. The vote fell apart after failure among rival factions, political entities and candidates to agree on basic electoral rules, including who should be eligible to run and how disputes should be settled. The Electoral Commission initially disqualified 25 of the 98 candidates who had registered but was not able to agree on a final list with the judiciary and parliament amid a messy appeals process. An elections committee set up by Parliament recommended the establishment of a new government before any new polling date. It did not set a new election date but urged the legislature to set out a new roadmap towards elections. Parliament is also soon expected to discuss the fate of the interim government of National Unity (GNU) and Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Al-Deba, whose presidential candidacy was one of the major areas of disagreement in the election process. Western powers last week said they consider the GNU valid until a handover of power to a new government after a prompt election, but they did not comment specifically on Deba's role as premier. Moving on to foreign news, Poland's president vetoed a media bill that critics said was aimed at silencing a Discovery-owned news channel that is critical of the government, citing worries about the stains the law would put on relations with Washington. The move allows NATO member Poland to sidestep a potential explosive row with the United States at a time of heightened tension in Eastern Europe amid what some countries see as increased Russian assertiveness. President Andrzej Duda said in a televised statement on Monday that if the law came into force, it could violate a treaty signed with the United States on economic and trade relations. Unexpectedly rushed through Parliament this month, the legislation would have tightened rules around foreign ownership of media, specifically affecting the ability of news channel TVN24, owned by U.S. media company Discovery, Inc., to operate. TVN24's parent, TVN, is owned by Discovery via a firm registered in the Netherlands in order to get around a ban on non-European firms owning more than 49% of Polish media companies. The law, which drew nationwide protest, would have prevented this workaround. Iraq's Supreme Court on Monday ratified the results of an October parliamentary election and rejected appeals lodged by Iran-backed Shiite factions, derailing their attempt to overturn a vote in which they performed poorly. The ruling allows the newly elected parliament to convene at last and sets the stage for intensified negotiations to replace outgoing Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi and his cabinet. Shiite Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, a foe of both Iranian and U.S. influence in Iraq, emerged as the biggest winner with 73 of Parliament's 329 seats. The Tehran-aligned bloc, which includes powerful armed groups, saw their representation slump to just 17 seats from 48 in 2018. Hadi al-Amiri, the leader of the Iran-backed Shiite political coalition Fatah, issued a statement pledging to abide by the court ruling. Asaib al-Had, an armed group that is part of the Fatah coalition, expressed disappointment at the ruling without saying if it would seek to challenge it. Reading Monday's ruling, Chief Judge Jassim Mohammed said that objections to the result, regardless of their basis, were undermining the value of the vote, weakening voters' confidence and derailing the political process. The ruling was final and binding on all authorities, he said. Under Iraq's constitution, President Bahram Salih should now call the new parliament into session within 15 days. Turkey has launched an investigation into hundreds of staff at the opposition-run Istanbul municipality accused of links to militant groups, drawing fierce criticism from the city's mayor on Monday over the handling of the probe. Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu is from the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, and is seen as a potential challenger to President Tayyip Erdogan. Since the failed 2016 coup, Turkey has investigated and tried tens of thousands of people accused of militant links in a crackdown, which rights groups say has been used as pretext to quash dissent. The government has said its actions are necessary given the gravity of the threats faced by Turkey. The Interior Ministry said on Sunday it had begun a probe of 455 people working at the municipality and related companies accused of connections to Kurdish militants, along with more than 100 alleged linked to leftist and other groups. Opinion polls show Erdogan's approval rating has hit a 6-year low and that he may lose to potential presidential rivals in elections scheduled for 2023. And coming up next is business news with Omobolanle.
Hello and welcome to Business News. I am Omobolanle Adeshui, and here are the stories we're tracking at the moment. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts has insisted that the Petroleum Equalization Fund, PEF, now Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, must account for the bank interest on the 34 billion naira placed in a fixed deposit account with one of the nation's commercial lenders. The committee, chaired by Senator Matthew Urogide, had accused PEF of not remitting fully the bank interest on the 34 billion naira. The fund had, however, claimed in a letter to the committee that it had remitted the interest to the Federation account. Urogide, while speaking to journalists, insisted that PEF must present evidence of remitting 182 million naira interest on the 34 billion naira. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, an economic think tank, has advised the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to review its ban on some of the over 40 items which the regulator has stopped importers from accessing foreign exchange to bring into the country. Economists at the center also said there was a need for the CBN to review its foreign exchange policy in 2022 with a view to improving dollar liquidity in order to rescue the ailing naira and help industries grow. The group disclosed this in its Economic and Business Environment Review for 2021 and Agenda for 2022. According to the CPPE, there is a need for the CBN to engage stakeholders as its current forex policy regime is negatively affecting investors, manufacturers, and other stakeholders. The organization added that the CBN should adopt a flexible exchange rate policy regime and allow the pricing mechanisms to reflect the demand and supply fundamentals in the foreign exchange markets. The Director General, Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Bashir Jama, says there are untapped opportunities in the inland waterways in the north. Jama, in an interactive session with journalists at a wedding reception of his daughter in Kaduna on Friday, emphasized the need to develop the maritime sector in the north. According to him, journalists need to explore research works with a view to disseminating information to the northern public on the importance of the blue economy, maritime safety, and other sundry issues. The NIMASA boss also expressed concern over the rising boat accident in rivers across the north. Nigeria lost crude oil valued at about 556 billion naira between August and October this year due to pipeline vandalism, community interferences, sabotage of oil facilities, among others. Latest industry data obtained from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited showed. Data compiled from the Crude Oil Market Division report of events that affected oil production in August, September, and October 2021 indicated that the country consistently posted losses during the period under review. In August, September, and October 2021, the average cost of a barrel of Brent, the crude against which Nigeria's oil is priced, were $70.75, $74.49, and $83.54, respectively, according to data from Statistica, a global statistical firm. Crude oil volumes lost due to various production shut-ins caused by vandalism, sabotage, and other challenges in August, September, and October were 6.6 million barrels, 6.3 million barrels, and 4.8 million barrels, respectively. At the official exchange rate of 411 naira 95 kobo to the dollar, the worth of the crude volumes lost by the country in August, September, and October were 194.7 billion naira, 195.24 billion naira, and 166.05 billion naira, respectively. This implies that the value of crude oil that was lost by Nigeria during the 3-month period was about 556 billion naira. And as the April 2022 recapitalization deadline of the Central Bank of Nigeria draws close, 876 microfinance banks in the country are scrambling to meet the minimum capital requirement. The CBN officials and banking players who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the matter said the management of the majority of the MFBs were making frantic efforts to shore up their capital to meet the new capital requirement before the deadline. As of press time on Sunday, it could not be confirmed the number of MFBs that have met the new capital requirement, but industry data obtained from the CBN show that the total assets of the nation's MFBs had increased significantly in the past 1 year. The total asset of the microfinance banks rose by 552 billion naira from 758.9 billion naira in July 2020 to 1.3 trillion naira in June 2021, as the small lenders moved to achieve the new recapitalization requirements. Also, figures obtained from the CBN on list of licensed microfinance banks as of June 30, 2021 show that there are 876 microfinance banks in the country. Telecom consumers under the aegis of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers have kicked against the plan by the federal government to introduce a suite of digital tokens to enhance the verification of the National Identity Number, NIN, effective January next year. According to the federal government, the digital token consisting 16 alphabets and numbers will be accepted for third-party verification instead of the 11-digit NIN. The development has been greeted with mixed reactions from Nigerians. However, the president, Nat Adeolu Ogunbanjo, said the move was currently uncalled for and shouldn't be implemented without proper consultation with stakeholders. Ogunbanjo recalled the development was coming barely a year after the federal government mandated citizens to link their SIMs to their NINs within a short period, forcing many Nigerians to besiege registration centers. The Nigeria National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, has ended the year on a bright note after it won an award as the overall best company in oil and gas reforms at the Open Government Partnership Global Awards, which was held in Seoul, South Korea. Nigeria picked the award at the expense of other member countries in Africa and the Middle East that were implementing a beneficial ownership registry to end anonymous companies in their countries. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, congratulated Nigeria on the award and noted that establishing a beneficial ownership register had helped Nigeria track, reduce and arrest corrupt practices that are undertaken either by companies or beneficial owners of companies. The Deputy Director, Head Communications and Advocacy of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NEITI, Obiageli Onora, said in a statement that a lot of factors were considered before Nigeria was picked for the award. Onora said the summit considered the government's overall commitment to reform in the oil and gas and mining sectors, as well as the support given to NEITI to establish a beneficial ownership register of companies in a business in Nigeria's extractive sector. Moving on to the foreign scene, where the Biden administration will lift travel restrictions on 8 southern African countries imposed last month over concerns about the fast-spreading COVID-19 Omicron variant, the White House said on Friday. Foreign nationals who are barred from the United States because they have been in one of the 8 countries within the prior 14 days will again be allowed on U.S.-bound flights. The United States on November 29 barred nearly all non-U.S. citizens who had recently been in South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique and Malawi in an abundance of caution over the variant detected in South Africa. White House spokesman Kevin Munoz tweeted that Biden will lift the temporary travel restrictions in South Africa countries effective December 31. He said the decision was recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. And on the foreign scene, U.S. stock index futures indicated a muted start on Monday as markets reopen after the Christmas holidays and investors assess the spread of the Omicron COVID-19 variant. Dow Jones futures pointed to a lower open by around 10 points on Monday, while S&P and NASDAQ futures both indicated a slightly higher open. On Thursday, with markets closed Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average added 196.67 points, or 0.55% to 35,950.56 points. The S&P 500 rose 0.62% to 4,725.79 and closed at a record high. The 500 stock average sits less than 0.4% from its intraday record high. The NASDAQ Composite gained 0.85% to 15,653.37, helping boost sentiment with new studies suggesting that Omicron has a lower risk of hospitalization than other COVID variants. U.S. infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci said on Sunday that cases of COVID-19 are likely going to keep surging as the Omicron variant rapidly spreads across the globe. And half a year since the rush of Chinese IPOs to the U.S. dried up, many details remain unknown for companies wanting to pursue such international listings. Since the fallout over Chinese ride-hailing app Didi's IPO in late June, authorities have increased their scrutiny of Chinese companies, raising billions of dollars in U.S. public markets. A 10-year high of 34 China-based companies listed in the U.S. this year, but only 3 of the IPOs have occurred since July, according to Renaissance Capital. Regulators in both countries have issued clarifications this month on what's needed from Chinese companies to go public in the U.S. While it's a start, many questions about implementation remain. Over the Christmas holiday weekend on Wall Street, the China Securities Regulatory Commission, CSRC, released proposed rules for domestic companies if they want to list overseas. The public comment period ends January 23. The CSRC's proposed rules said an overseas listing could be stopped if authorities deemed it a threat to national security. Domestic companies need to comply with relevant provisions in the areas of foreign investment, cybersecurity, and data security, a draft said without much elaboration. And that's it from the business desk. I am Omobolanle Adeshuyi. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Majority of Nigerian households spend over 90% of monthly income on Christmas. The traditional Nigerian celebration begins from the first day of December with the sounds of fireworks to the last-minute shopping, which attracts an increase in the price of items from 5% to even 50% as it gets closer to the festivities. During the holidays, persons who live abroad and are often unable to celebrate with their families in person often find themselves sending financial support to their families back home, thereby making Christmas a reality for their loved ones. Thank you, Omobolanle. Coming up next is sports news. Ferran Torres arrived at Barcelona for a medical on Monday as his transfer from Manchester City moves a step closer. City only signed Torres from Valencia in the summer of 2020 and will now look to replace the now-retired Sergio Aguero at Barcelona. The two clubs have agreed an initial fee of 47.6 million euros for the Spain star to be transferred when the January window opens, as well as a further potential 8.5 million euro in performance-related bonuses. The Spaniard is training in Valencia as he looks to get back to the field of play following a fractured metatarsal he picked up on international duty in October. Torres scored 17 goals in 46 games for City. The list of COVID-19 affected postponements over the festive period has continued to grow with the cancellation of Birmingham's championship game with Peterborough. 24 out of 33 EFL games did not go ahead on 26 December due to coronavirus outbreak in various clubs. Blues and Posh both suffered the loss of a second successive game when their scheduled meeting at St Andrews on 29 December was called off. Two other post-Boxing Day championship games have been called off. Swansea City's meeting with Luton Town also on Wednesday, and West Bromwich Albion's home game with Preston a day later. And coming up now is entertainment news. Spider-Man No Way Home unwrapped the best Christmas gift of all, becoming the first pandemic-era movie to cross $1 billion at the global box office. Tom Holland's Marvel superhero adventure is the only movie since 2019 Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker to surpass $1 billion globally. No other Hollywood film has come close to nearing those box office revenues in the last 2 years. Prior to Spidey's reign, MGM's James Bond sequel, No Time to Die, which grossed $774 million globally, stood as the highest-grossing Hollywood film of 2021 and the pandemic. As the first movie to reach $1 billion worldwide, Spider-Man No Way Home took the earthly throne from another box office behemoth, China's The Battle at Lake Changjin, which grossed $902 million to officially cement its place as the year's biggest, highest-grossing film worldwide. It's also notable that No Way Home surpassed that high watermark without playing in China, which is currently the world's biggest movie-going market. Jean Marc-Valley, the Canadian director best known for his work on Matthew McConaughey drama Dallas Buyers Club, has died aged 58. Valley's representative, Bomb Ward, said he died suddenly over the weekend in his cabin outside Quebec City. His two sons survive him. Valley was a director who attracted high-profile stars seeking projects in which they could demonstrate their unvarnished acting chops, which often paid dividends during award seasons. He frequently shot his films using exclusively natural light and on handheld cameras, allowing his cast unusual freedom to block a scene as they chose. Dallas Buyers Club was nominated for 6 Oscars in 2014, winning 3, including Best Actor for McConaughey, who played a rodeo cowboy with AIDS who smuggles an unlicensed drug into the U.S. that can help patients live longer, and for supporting actor Jared Leto. Other films include The Young Victoria, Demolition, and the TV series Sharp Objects. Odudu on Sunday won the Season 12 of the Gouda Ultimate Search. The season, tagged Age of Craftsmanship, had 18 warriors or contestants who started their journey into the forest on October 16, 2021. The reality show climaxed when the evictions left only 4 warriors standing who were to find the great Akolo's chest. Odudu, a wild card on the show, won a sport utility vehicle SUV made and donated by Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Motors. The company had handed over the vehicle to Nigerian Breweries PLC, sponsors of the show, ahead of the finale. More than 20,000 Nigerians applied for this season's regional selection process before those who made the long list were sent to the Sea World. It thus seemed difficult for Odudu to have been noticed when Gerald appeared as a possible winner due to his performance in the early period of the show. In the final episode of the show, which was broadcast yesterday on DSTV, Odudu was declared the winner after finding the chest containing the proverbial Akolo's secret brew. The winner of the survival reality TV show will go home with 50 million naira worth of prizes, including the SUV. And that's all on the news at this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasomi Peter. To enjoy the rest of the day and bye for now.